So here we are in the laundry and mudroom, and we are going to transform this space. There is no storage in here, blank walls, just a stacked washer and dryer, and today we are changing that. Actually, it was over the course of a couple months for me to get this project completed, but I am so excited to finally be sharing the completed laundry and mudroom makeover with you all. This space has transformed so much. It is very functional and has tons of storage in it, which is exactly what I wanted this room to have. So let's start at the beginning and I'll take you through the entire process. If you are new here, hey, my name is Emily and I hope you're having a beautiful day so far. So I started off by removing the baseboards in the room where I could attach my cabinets to the wall. I ended up putting the cabinets in here just to see how they would actually fit and make sure everything was looking good, and also mark the floor because I actually had to cut the floor. Now that the floor is all prepped, we get to install the cabinets, and I ended up going with the RTA store cabinets. I reached out to them and asked if they would partner with me for this space, and they were so gracious and sent me the cabinets. So I ended up going with the Asheville Cloud Shaker cabinet. I ordered a lot of different samples. That way I could see what coloring I would like in the room and what would fit best as far as the cabinets go. And all the cabinets come in different configurations and stuff, so definitely be sure to check the website and see what is going to best fit your needs. But I really like that when you order samples from there, you can return them and they give you a free return slip, so you get your money back and everything, and you can really see what you end up wanting, and then you can of course keep any samples that you want as well. But I ended up going with the ready to assemble cabinets, which is actually what RTA stands for, but they also have pre-assembled cabinets, so if you don't want to do any of the DIY of building the boxes, you don't have to. They'll ship them straight to your place, all put together. So it's really up to you and your preference, your budget, and the style that you're looking for. There's so many different door styles and colors that they have, so definitely be sure to check out their website. I have everything linked down below for you. But these boxes were really easy to assemble. Everything comes in its own box for the cabinet, and so all you have to do is use some wood glue, some screws that they provide, and the hardware, and you just assemble it, and it's really easy. They even have designers to help you out with your layout and the overall design. Once I got all the cabinets assembled, I went ahead and started to attach them together and adding any filler pieces to the sides that I would need. Because this is next to the wall, for doors to open properly, I needed to have a filler piece, so I went ahead and ordered that, ripped it down, and then used cabinet screws and clamps to hold it in place. That way it wouldn't move. I definitely recommend grabbing yourself some clamps, because it'll definitely make assembling the cabinets together so much easier as well. And then I went ahead and put a screw in where the stud is on the wall. If you don't do this, the cabinets will move on you, and that is not something that you want to have happen. So depending on the type of cabinet you get, sometimes they'll have a partial overlay, half overlay, or a full overlay. My cabinet doors are actually a full overlay, and so to compensate for that, I had to add a filler piece in between the bottom cabinets as well as the upper cabinets. That way, if they were going to be opening against a wall, they have proper clearance. That way the door wouldn't hit. So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at the cabinets. If you don't want to have a lot of filler pieces, then don't do a full overlay, and just keep that in mind depending on how your space works. But again, I just repeated the same thing, finding the stud on the wall and screwing it in, making sure it's secure. And then I just started stacking cabinets and going from there. All of the drawer bases come with all of the hardware, drawer slides, everything you need to install your drawers into your cabinet, and it's very simple, and I actually like how sturdy these are. That's what I'm doing here, is just putting in my slides, that way I can attach the drawers to it. And these have a quick unlock system, so if I need to remove the whole drawer, I just pinch 2 little levers together on the bottom and the whole drawer will come out. Otherwise it's locked in. For this upper cabinet, I had to improvise a little bit, so I used a cabinet below it and then used different blocks in a box to hold the cabinet up where I needed it to be flush with the other one on top, and I used my clamps because I didn't have help. So improvise if you need to get the job done. Alright, here goes nothing. I'm gonna remove this so I can put a bracket underneath, because I have to put a fridge panel here and move these over more, and I can't get them to move over anymore by myself, so I gotta wait till he comes home. I probably don't need to add this. Decided since it's basically hidden, I was going to add that just to help support the back of the cabinet until I get the fridge panel in, and just so it's extra secure. I don't need it, but I did it anyways. So I'm removing the cabinet door, that way I would be able to put the fridge panel in later on. And also for the door opening, I wanted to switch the opening side. So that's the nice thing about these doors, is that you can easily switch from side to side if you need to. If you can't hold it up, use something to make it stacked so that you can hold it in place and then screw it in. That definitely helps me out a lot. Now I'm adding the fridge panel on each side. This just gives a nice custom look. Was it necessary? No, but I really like the way it made everything look. And now here I'm just using my stud finder, and I put a ledger board here to help support that upper cabinet while we screwed it in and keep it level. And I'm putting in the bottom cabinet here. This is actually going to possibly be a sink, everything, but I wanted to cut this out. That way if I do want to put a sink in, I can at some point. And that way I don't have to take the cabinet out or anything like that, because there will be a countertop going in over here. I really like the shelf supports that they use in the cabinets. They just pop right in and then they actually lock into the bottom of the shelf, which I like because then the shelf doesn't wobble on you. Now it's time to add a little jewelry to these cabinets, and I'm adding these really pretty champagne bronze knobs to it, and I really like this. I like using a little template, that way I can get everything centered. I don't have to rely on measuring each piece. That helps a lot, but this hardware, you've seen me use it a few times. It's really pretty and it's pretty affordable, and it comes in a couple different colors as well, so if you don't like the champagne bronze, you can always get another one, but again, everything will be linked in the description box below for you. Now for the drawer pulls, I decided to use these cuff handles. It's the same line as the knobs that I used, and generally when you're doing drawers, usually it's a third of the size of the drawer, and it's all personal preference. So some people do half, some people do a third. It kind of just depends. I don't like to go too puny because I don't want it to look too small. I thought about doing just two little knobs, one on each end, but I don't really like that. I like just opening a drawer with one handle versus two hands, so that is why I chose to do these lighter cuffs, and I think they look really beautiful. And I used a smaller one on this cabinet and then a larger one on the 30-inch cabinet. I'm gonna mark out there. This is a guide point for me. Still splits the wall a little bit more than halfway, but it's not top heavy, if that makes sense. If you were using something that covers the whole wall, just mark the studs where the baseboards are, just so you have like a general guideline. Next, I went to the store and looked at the different board and batten and wall treatments that they have, and they sell these in 4x8 sheets, which is really affordable. So I bought the thinner vertical shiplap boards, and I really like this. You can have the store cut it down for you, but I have a saw, so I did it myself. And then I used the first one as a template since I had to buy 3 boards for this. And then I have a little bit left over for other areas that I want to add this later on, which I'm really happy about. Part does not fall into a stud. I'm going to add some silicone behind it. Nothing fancy, just add a little bit so that it acts as kind of like a glue. On to the next sheet. Then I just repeated the same steps for the next few boards, and just making sure that that end area is lined up and flush with the other one. You don't want it overlapping at all, and then just nail into the studs. Oh boy, it's so long. It's so much better than having a seam. Oh, I think I got it. Hold on. Let's evaluate down here at the end. Oh, it is. It's good. Amazing what a little bit of trim can do to a room. So now I need to silicone the top, the bottom edge, and then I need to fill all the nail holes. Like the Alex caulking, it works really good. Here is where the two boards join together. You can see that little bit of a seam there. So we're just going to fill that with caulking, and then since my finger doesn't fit in there, I'm going to wet a Q-tip and run that all the way down for a nice seamless look. Next step is to take some spackle and fill in all the nail holes. You can do it by hand or with a putty knife. wall turned out really good. The next step is painting, and actually the color of the cabinets, it's called Classic Gray by Benjamin Moore, but I don't see any gray in it. It's really just a creamy white. Now I'm just using a paintbrush to get in all those vertical lines. Now that the painting is done, we get to install the wallpaper. It's subtle, but there's a lot of pattern, and I think it's going to be perfect for the look that I'm going for in here. To mark a level line on the wall, because if you put the first piece up crooked, the whole thing's going to be crooked and it's not going to go well. Your spot that you made, this pattern repeats every 24 inches, which is great for me. And I need 42 inches for the length of my wall. So typically you want to cut around an extra 2 inches just to give yourself a little leeway. After you got it all wetted down, go ahead and bookmark fold it. That way it'll activate the glue. Just don't crease the edging, okay? Let it sit for a minute or two and then go ahead and apply it to your wall. Use your straight line that you made with your level as your guide, not the wall corner, because most walls are not straight, so don't go off of that. You can cut off any excess. You're going to want to use your hands and start at the middle and fan outward, and then you can use a spatula that's flat or like a credit card, or in this case I'm using a knockdown drywall knife that has foam on the end so it won't rip my paper, and I'm using that just to get out any air bubbles and make sure it's all flat. And then I'm just going to repeat this over and over until I fill up the wall. But wallpaper is a great way to add a lot of character to a space, and it adds a lot of charm to it, and I think it looks really pretty. Now to finish up this wall, I'm adding some wall hooks to it just to add in the storage so I can hang up bags and coats and towels and it doesn't get in the way or anything. It looks really beautiful, but it's very functional. I love the way this wall came together. Now for the back corner area underneath the window, I'm adding this cabinet. It is an upper cabinet, just a 30-inch, and I built the base for it because this area isn't deep enough to hold a normal 24-inch cabinet. So I improvised and used this. That way I could still use some storage, but it would just had to be a little bit more customized in a sense. So this cabinet is 24 inches, and this is where I'm adding some ledger boards on the wall to help hold up the countertop that I'll be installing. Now that that ledger board is all level, we are now ready for countertops, and I did not choose anything special here. I just did a Formica countertop for this area until we have the funds to do something nicer. This works just fine for a laundry room, and it cuts really easily and you can sand it down. So I really like how DIY friendly this stuff is, and it was pretty affordable too. So this area at the front of the laundry room is actually our drop zone. So the area to the left will hold coats and stuff, and then this is where we'll put, you know, the phones to charge and keys and everything else, just a normal drop zone. And then this counter over here by the window is actually going to be my folding station. So just finishing up this corner with the rest of that vertical shiplap board there, and then I paint it, and now I'm adding the door back on that lower cabinet, adding some hardware to complete the space, and we are basically finished with it. I did end up adding a hanger in here, that way we could hang up clothes, and I just found it on Amazon. I had to cut it down, but it fits really nicely, and now we can store our coats in here, but we don't have to look at them, which is fantastic. So I really wanted a lot of storage in this room, but clothes storage, so that we don't have to look at the mess that's in. It's like a blank space that was for the laundry room and turned it into a laundry and mud room, and I could not be happier with the end result. It has so much storage in it. It's really functional. It has a folding area, a drop zone. I can hang up clothes in here to dry. I also have an area for all the laundry baskets to go, and it just flows so nicely. I'm very, very happy with it, and I hope most of all I've given you some ideas on ways that you can transform your home and make the space really work for you. Take the time, draw out the way you want the room to function, label where everything is going to go. That way your room can function and work for you, not against you. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends. Of course, all links are in the description box below. I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you so much for spending your day with me, and I will see you in the next one.